Now that we have server 2008 and 2012, we're going to do a 2016. It's going to be very, very similar to 2012. Not a whole lot of differences for that regard, but we're going to go through it anyway. So as I go up on top, I want to do a file again, file new virtual machine. Clicking next, VMware Workstation 12, install the operating system later. Choosing Windows Server 2016, clicking next. Making sure, and as you're going through quickly, don't rush this step. Making sure you click Browse, finding your portable drive, choosing the proper folder, making the proper folder. Oh, hang on one second. If I follow my notes, it is 2016. I'm not going to be naming it 2016 though. I'm going to name it DC1, and this will come into play in the next couple of weeks as we use this as a specific purpose. It's going to end up being a domain controller. So I'm going to change the name up here as well, DC1. So DC1 is the virtual machine name, and the location is going to be server admin 1 DC1. Just again, triple, quadruple check to make sure that you're on your portable drive. BIOS, 1 processor, 2 gigs of RAM, netted network. So these steps are all the same again. Make sure that you choose or recommended that you put this as a single file as a virtual disk. It does keep it at 60 gigs between 2012 and 2016. And then clicking next all the way through here. So I went through that very, very quickly. Choosing the CD-ROM, same process. Clicking the ISO image, browsing for it, and then choosing 2016 180-day evaluation. So again, nothing's changed in that process. Even the next part of the initial part of the installation is going to be identical. So in less than 2 minutes, we're already installing a server. Okay, choosing this is all the defaults again for language and keyboard. I'm clicking install. We still have standard and data center, but now we have it even more obscured as far as the graphical user interface and the server core. The default's the server core, but it doesn't tell you that anymore. It just says, this is your server. Of course, this is what you install. And again, if you installed this, you'd come up with a blinking cursor at the end. And we're going to do that next, but right now, we're going to choose, instead of saying, oh, with the graphical user interface, it's now saying, oh yeah, for those of you who aren't like real people, you're gonna have to use the desktop experience one. It's very degrading to me. I don't know. I guess I'm triggered and it's hitting me the wrong way.
You go to college, so you're trained to be that way.
So we are going to use the desktop experience, which means that you are going to have a graphical user interface. So it doesn't tell you that. So it's less defined in 2016 than in 2012. 2012 it says server core and server with GUI. Other than that, it's going to be all the same though. It's going to have a different license agreement, so make sure you read through that. And then clicking next, and I'm going to do the install, which is the custom advanced install, using my 60 gig hard drive, and then let it copy the files. After rebooting, it's going to come up and ask for your password, which is the same one, our special password. It is nice to have the little eye icon so you can see that you type things correctly. And go ahead and click finish. It does come again to Control-Alt-Delete to unlock, but Control-Alt-Insert is what we push for the virtual machine. And it does make you log in, just like Windows Server 2012 did. If you're familiar with Windows 10, it's going to look very, very similar to Windows 10. You will create a user profile, and then it'll automatically launch Server Manager, just like Server 2012 did. We don't want to use Server Manager quite yet. It takes a little bit to launch Server Manager in here. We're not going to use it right now anyway. What we do want to do is remove the CD-ROM, just like we did in other versions. So I go to VM, Settings, I'll choose yes in the back for my network here. I'll cancel it. Yes. There we go. Now go up to VM. Settings. And remove my CD by disconnecting the ISO image. At the same time, I'm going to go choose VM and install VMware Tools. Yeah, Server Manager eventually comes up. And wait for the dialog box to pop up for the CD. It's possible I may have missed it. If I want to look at the file manager, I can. Click on the File Explorer. Oh, it must still be thinking. One thing about Windows 10, it brings you to the desktop very quickly, but it's really still booting. So it makes it look good. Like, oh, look how fast we boot. It's still booting. So it can sometimes take a little while. I click on this PC, and it is already mounted. I just missed the splash screen. Double click on here. Well, I guess it is single clicked. It should auto run. If it doesn't, go to setup 64. That's the 64-bit application. If you run setup, that'd be just the 32-bit. It would still run, it'd be fine, but might as well take advantage of the 64-bit option. It still runs in the background of everything. So you have to click on the taskbar to bring it to the foreground. Go ahead and click Next, Next, Install. And it just updated the video driver. And when you're done, you can restart.
Paint is still in Windows Server 2016, just in case you're wondering.
After I restart, I can log back in. And now this time I do want to wait for Server Manager to launch. And it's going to look very, very similar to Server 2012. We end up having one extra option. We had 1 through 4 before. Now we have 1 through 5. As you can see, Microsoft's expansion into cloud services, of direct integrations of your servers to cloud services. We still start the same way though, so we configure this local machine. And this screen is going to be identical to Server 2012. So we go up here and change the computer name. Click Change. And I'm going to call it DC1. I'm changing it to DC1.
So unless I'm missing something, this has been pretty much identical to 2012 so far.
After it restarts, I can log back in. So I changed the computer name. I don't have to worry about work group quite yet. It's still actually propagating everything. I want to change the IP address. This we did in 2012, so if you have electronic notes, just a regular old copy and paste would be fine. TCP/IP version 4. Going to Properties and using the following IP address. Hit the numlock button, And we're doing 192.168.118.12. And using the same subnet mask and default gateway as it did before. Here it still says by DHCP. If I click the refresh button, it should show me that I have the IP address. If I waited long enough, it would refresh. But just get in the habit of clicking that refresh button if things just don't look right. Again, normally you'll be doing Windows updates. That's something that you should be doing. Just for time, we're not going to be doing. And then we do want to change the time zone. If I change the time zone, I want to change it to US Central Time. And the time is correct this time. So I just click OK. Once again, it says Pacific Time. If I click refresh, it changes to Central Time. Clicking back on the dashboard, I can go to roles and features, adding other servers. Let me just talk a little bit about the dashboard. I'm sorry, about Server Manager in itself, just to give you a little navigating from here. It takes a little while to get used to it. Most things can be reached through the dashboard. So if I get to the dashboard, I can go to roles and features. I can manage other servers. I also have local servers on the left-hand side, which all the servers I'm connected with my local server, I can see all the resources and services that are running on there. If I connect it to multiple servers, I only have one right now, I could see all those same events and warnings or services on all my machines. File and storage services are built into here. And just be aware that when you start getting into these sub-menu type things, your icons change. If this is still your dashboard, you just can't see it as your dashboard. So kind of knowing what that is. You also have, kind of like in File Explorer, you have this hierarchy of tabs up on top. So I can go back to Server Manager just by clicking the Server Manager, and then go to Dashboard and go to Local Server or whatever if I want to go to. But I can also go back to Server Manager. And if I was something a little bit deeper, you can see it how it's going from Server Manager, File and Storage Servers, Volumes, and Storage Pools. If I just want to go to Volumes, I could go back to Volumes, then I could go to Storage Pools. So you can work kind of that way. You also have this drop down. This drop down is the recent areas that you went to. So it's kind of like going a history, like if you did Internet Explorer or Chrome history, these are the last places you went to. So like, oh yeah, how do I get from there? You also have this back and forward button, which works exactly like a web browser. So if I went from storage services and pools, I can click back to go, back to servers. I mean, it's not even like in a direct sequence. It's so I can go forward and backwards, as you would. So it's not just a up the tree and down the tree. It's truly a history forward and back. Watch the flag up on top. If things are wrong, they just turn yellow. If it's red, that means that things are really wrong. Sometimes it's just a notification just to let you know, and other times you need to be doing things. If we want to manage things, there's few things we want to manage through here. If we want to remove roles and features, this is the only place to do it. Otherwise, we spend most of our time under Tools. So underneath the Tools menu, we're able to manage all the services and things that we've installed on this computer. We also have that same administrative sub-menu in the Start button, but just like we got rid of kind of the tile, the whole tile screen to this sort of modified tile screen, this is the Start button for Windows 2016. So I do have underneath here, I can scroll through my app. I don't want to do that. Go through my applications, and I can't scroll through my applications. Why can't I get through? Where's my administrative? Oh, right here, Windows Administrative Tools. I was looking for A for Administrative Tools. No wonder I couldn't find A. Under Administrative Tools, I have the same thing. So it's going to be just a different look, but it's the same thing. So you still have Administrative Tools that you can access it. I don't know of many people that access this way through the Start menu. Everybody just goes to Server Manager that I know and uses the tools from here, but they are in two different locations. We do have PowerShell on here, but it's not an icon. There isn't an icon right on the taskbar. You can add it to the taskbar if you want. If you click on the Start button, you have the PowerShell interface up here. And this is sort of like the advanced one that's sort of built specifically for Windows. So there's more stuff added to it. The straight Windows PowerShell is located here. If you want to get to the command prompt, you can right-click on the Start button and get to the command prompt, which is very nice. So there's lots of features right off the Start button. Very, very nice interface. One of the greatest things that is also located on the right-click Start button is disk management. Nowhere in Windows before has there been a way of getting directly to disk management. You always had to go through something to get to disk management. And we do a lot of things with disks, so having it right there is tremendous. Device manager is there. We have control panel. We have all kinds of stuff on here that you can work with. This is a newer version of Windows as well. So the later versions of Windows 10, where you have the icons on the left-hand side, you have the who's logged in, the settings, and the power button over here. You do have the menus up on top to bring it wider, so you can see things, but it's pretty simple that way. If I click on here, I can power down or log off. If I right-click on here, I can also power down as well, or sign out. So you can do it multiple different ways. So we have PowerShell, we have administrative tools, and we have the tools within Server Manager. When we're all done with that, just like all the rest of our servers, we can shut them down. Click the power button and do a shutdown. And we can do a snapshot of the server as well. This is for a base image. Let me just take a quick time to discuss snapshots. Snapshots really do cause delays and lags and really shouldn't be used in production environments very much. They're used for, I don't know what's going to happen, let me take a snapshot and then let's do it. And then if things work fine, you just delete the snapshot. If you need to, you can go back though. So it's not ideal in a production environment to have lots of snapshots. Educationally though, we use snapshots a lot. We want to be able to go back to that point in time and either redo an activity or undo an activity or whatever we want to do. So I can create a bunch of users and it's like, that was fun, let me try that again. So I revert back to prior to the users and then just kind of do it all again. If I take a snapshot after I create the users, I can go before the users, create some of them, and then it's like, oh, you know what, it's fun, but I don't know if it's that fun. So then I can go forward in time to actually choose my snapshot where all my users are there. So we are going to use a lot of them, but again, in reality, we don't use it a lot in production environments.